نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Pig is najas, is impure as a whole. Everything which is associated with pig is actually impure and not permissible according to the vast majority of ulama of Islam. Now, something which is haram is permissible in dire situation, in a condition where one doesn't have any alternatives. So the concept is called tadawi bil muharram, taking cure from something which is haram. So there are certain conditions which must be fulfilled. Number one, the disease is really incurable, otherwise means there's no alternative available. Second, the disease is sufficiently stressful, problematic, causing trouble. Not that there's some issues, mild problem. There has to be either life-threatening or limb-threatening situation. For example, severe heart failure, and hence the requirement for a transplant from porcine heart. So the current successful transplantation in America has raised this question amongst Muslims. Obviously, it's not widely available yet. However, it would in future possibly become available to people. Now, another condition is that the cure must have reasonable potential to benefit. The treatment that we are offering, or we're getting, or we've been offered, has a potential which is not 5%, 10% chance that it may help, it may work. It must be significant, which is above 50%. So if the chances of having rejection, which is quite common with transplantation, even human being, when they have their organs transplanted, there is very high risk of transplantation rejection, and that rejection could be more problematic in certain situations, even to the fact that the people do not come out of the acute phase and they get the organ rejected by the host, by the body. And even the operation itself is quite serious. For example, lung transplantation has about 10% mortality. Heart has even higher perhaps. And then with cadaver, with the animals, the chances would be even higher. So one needs to be very careful as to the benefits. So work in progress, early stages, is it permissible or not? I think it would be tailored individually. Someone who has mild condition and their heart is not that bad, it may become bad in future with the condition they have, for example, cardiomyopathy, which is not treatable, which is permanent. But it would give them maybe possibly another 10-15 years and they perhaps might need it. That's a time to consider. So scholars, muftis at that time, for each individual give fatwa. So the bottom line is, yes, in certain situation it may be permissible, but not as a blanket statement for everyone to consider it, no matter how mild the disease is and how much is the expertise there of this particular operation in different parts of the world, and no matter how much alternatives are available. So it may be permissible for certain individuals, not for others. So everyone should be taken into consideration, their situation, status, their hardship that they're getting with the disease itself. So again, the summary is one can use something haram for cure, provided the disease is serious enough, life-threatening or limb-threatening, or having very severe impact on the quality of life, more so physically rather than just psychologically, although sometimes psychologically it might be valid as well. The second point is that the cure must have more than just a possibility of having some cure, rather there is much more benefit. So أغلب الظن that there is a benefit with that particular cure. And then third is that there is no other cure available whatsoever. The other cure might be not as good but still reasonable, few percent less maybe. So with transplant, let's say 80% chance, for example, and with metallic valve or say the other devices might not have that much. So it's like it's 65%, for example. Someone would go for haram option. I mean, it's all statistics, isn't it? So that is why it is extremely important to remember that although there is permissibility in dire situation, when there is no alternative available and when there is substantial evidence that it would work, even in those situations it must be individually sought fatwa rather than a general statement. So one needs to go and speak to a mufti in their area, locality, or even online, putting their case to them, and then they would give you a specific prescription for yourself, as opposed to general statement that anyone can have it. So I hope it clarifies the situation.